At epictales.co.uk or worldstorytellingcafe.com. We are live in those places. I think we are also going to be live on YouTube any moment now. Yep, I think we are live on YouTube. I think we may even be live on Facebook. Let's see if we are. Going live around the world. Excellent. I think we are definitely there on Facebook too. So everything is all rocking and rolling. We are here for our sharing special. And our sharing special today is even more Sean Connery than normal because it's the sharing special Shapeshifter Part 2. That's quite a lot of shushing. What we are hoping will happen is that we will have something in our Epic post bag that someone has sent in to show off their literacy skills since seeing Yanina's part 1 on Monday morning. As long as we got something there, we, as we said, will be able to share with you part 2 this afternoon. So, how are you feeling, Yanina? Are you with me?
I'm with you. Yes, I'm good. Oh, there's a fox down by. Oh, there was a fox. There was a fox down by your side. Oh, it's gone. You're too slow. On your left.
On my left.
Yes.
I can't see a fox in here, Yanina. I'd be very surprised if there was a fox here at the missing sock.
They're very sneaky.
Are they very sneaky? This is the Missing Sock Corner of the World Storytelling Cafe, folks. If you are watching this from epictales.co.uk or worldstorytellingcafe.com, you might see that there's a little join story button, and that will allow you to come into the cafe with us. If you want to, you can then switch a camera on, maybe even switch a microphone on and talk with us. Don't worry, if you don't want us to see you or hear you, that's fine. But you can come in here then and you can actually speak with us as well and interact with the storytelling as it's going on. But in about 3 minutes' time, according to the sun, we are going to be looking into our Epic post bag, seeing if anybody has completed the Epic challenge that we set on Monday morning. And if they have, then like we promised, Yanina will share part 2 of the story of Robin Goodfellow. Now, if you missed Monday morning's story, don't worry. We'll give a very quick rundown, shall we, Yanina, when we start, just to remind everybody where we're at.
I think that would be a lovely idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you want to do that, or shall I?
I think you can do that if you want to.
I was really hoping she wouldn't say that, because now I need to try and remember. It'll really be a test of whether I was paying attention on Monday morning, won't it? But no, I can give it a go if you want me to.
Are you sure?
I will do my best. I mean, if there is stuff in the Epic post bag, you're going to be doing all of the hard work for part 2, so it's only fair.
I will do. Yeah. Oh, careful!
Oh,
There's
what?
a hedgehog. There's a hedgehog in your lap right now.
Oh, goodness me. This little hedgehog is always joining us to head off to the stories.
There you go.
And if he's on his way, that must mean that our introduction is coming up soon. Now, if you haven't seen it before, hold on, I'm just going to click a few buttons for a moment because I want to be able to see the chat. I want to be able to see other people in the room, like you, Yanina, so that I can wave to everybody who's here. But of course, we have our opening theme tune coming up, and there's that bit in the opening theme tune where the drums go doo-doosh. And we hope that to help us start the story, you are going to be ready to go with those drums. So to have a practice, watch the star, and when Yanina appears, give the 2 claps with her. Okay, so watch it, and there we go. I think again I was a little bit too early, wasn't I? If you do that, as soon as you see the star in the opening animation, then you will help us to start the storytelling. It's really cool. There's like a book that flies up into the sky and opens up, and as soon as it opens, that little star will fly out, and that is your cue to go like that. And then we will kick off with the sharing special this afternoon, our second sharing special of this academic year. How exciting is that? And it's only 10 seconds away. So get your clapping hands ready, your jazz hands, as they're sometimes called. Are we ready? You ready, Janina?
I'm ready.
Here we go. There she is. Well, thank you and welcome to the Missing Sock Corner of the World Storytelling Cafe for the Epic Tales Sharing Special. And it is our Puck Week. Now, what's a Puck Week, you might be thinking? Is it something about ice hockey? Not at all. It is about a fairy prince who you may have met if you have ever seen Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream, or if you've ever read that play. Puck is the name of the fairy prince in there, but you may have noticed sometimes some of the characters in Midsummer Night's Dream actually call him Robin, Robin Goodfellow. That was his name when he was a smaller human being, about the same size as you. And back then, Robin had his own adventures that he was the hero of. And I don't know if you caught the little picture of the boy sleeping under a tree in the opening animation there. Well, that, if you remember from Monday morning's story, is how Robin discovered his magical fairy powers. He was the son of the Fairy King, but he never met his father. He had to live with his mum, and he was bullied and teased by all of the other people in the village. They even bullied and teased him so much that eventually the mayor himself, the mayor of this village, sent him into exile and told him he couldn't even look after his mum anymore. So there was this poor little boy, poor little Robin, ostracized from his own home. And yeah, he was sleeping rough. He was sleeping in a field underneath an apple tree when he had a dream and finally met his father. Do you know the magical power that he was given? Well, the clue is in the title as well, isn't it? He could shift his shape. He could change into any creature. I mean, when Janina was here on Monday morning, she told us about him turning into a cat and a bird, and he even turned into a big, strong man at one point. He turned into a bear. But what Robin decided to do was turn into a pigeon in order to get his own back on the mare. What do you think a pigeon would be able to do to any human being in order to take revenge? Robin had those designs exactly, to fly down to the mayor or the mayor's niece and poop on their heads. But when he saw the mayor's niece, he noticed that actually she was crying. She was crying because her uncle was treating her a bit like a slave. He wasn't just mean to Robin, he was mean to his own family, and he wasn't letting his niece get married to her boyfriend. Well, when Robin saw this, he had a bit of a change of heart, and instead of trying to get his own back on everybody, he wanted to help the mayor's niece out. And the way that he thought he would do this was by actually turning himself into the mayor's niece, putting on her body as well as her clothes, and going in to see the mayor and saying if he could do all of the jobs in the house that were on the list of things that the niece had to do, the mayor had to let her marry her boyfriend. Now, of course, remember, the mayor didn't know that he was talking to Robin. He thought he was talking to his niece. So he very happily agreed to this, and he even wrote it down, thinking it was completely balmy. There was no way his niece could do every job in the house and the garden in just, what, 4 hours? But as he left for his work that day, he didn't know that it was actually Robin in the house. And of course, Robin could change into any creature to help him tidy up that house and do all of those jobs. And for our epic challenge, we asked you to think of jobs around the house and which would be the best animal to complete them. So, if we look in our epic post bag, we can see that there's nothing in there this week. Which means I'm really sorry, Janina, but we can't actually share part 2 right now.
Oh, I'm disappointed about that. I really am. But I think it's really important that if we say we're going to do something, we do it. And if we say we're not going to do something, then we don't do that too.
That's very fair. That is very fair. I think anybody watching right now is going to agree that is very fair. But I think we should also be a bit understanding, because the summer holidays are only just over. Schools are only just back. And I remember when we were getting loads of submissions for our epic challenges, that was back in the days that a lot of young boys and girls weren't actually able to go to school, so they had plenty of time to have a go at these epic challenges. So I think it's only fair for those boys and girls that we share the message that you do not have to do this on your own. These epic challenges are for you and for all of your friends at school, and they are actually extra helpful for your teachers, because while they may be really fun for you, your teachers will be able to find themselves getting a few extra boxes ticked on their paperwork without even having to think about anything. So please do share the epic challenges and share the stories with your schools, with your teachers. Let them know that if they get everybody in your class watching these stories, then these epic challenges are for them as well as for you. In fact, you might even be able to watch these stories in school. I'm sure if you go to a school where your teacher puts videos up on the whiteboard for you, or sometimes shows you things on TV, then you'll be able to actually watch these stories there. And again, your teachers will be able to enjoy them too. I think your teachers will be delighted if you share Epic Tales Online with them as well. So please do tell your teachers about Epic Tales, tell your friends about Epic Tales, and then you can do this as part of your schoolwork rather than just fitting it into your own time at home. You can actually have all the fun of completing these Epic Tales at school. What do you reckon? Sound good, Janina?
I think that's a brilliant idea. Oh my goodness me. If I was at school, I'd love to do something like this. It wouldn't be learning or schoolwork at all, would it really?
Well, I suppose if you were going to write it down, you'd be doing writing, wouldn't you? And if you were going to act it out, you'd still be doing speaking and listening. So there would be a bit of, what's the word? That horrible word, literacy there, wouldn't there?
But this is really, really fun. And I know that all the children that have joined us over the summer and during lockdown have had an awful lot of fun. I know I've had a lot of fun telling stories with them, especially when they've been in the Zoom room with us as well. And I know you have too, Chip, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we've really loved seeing everything that you folks have sent in and shared with us in our Epic post bags. So we're really looking forward for getting started again. Once again, though, because it is really close to the start of the new school year now, and there has been a really long time out of school. In fact, saying that, I know as well that there are some parts of the world that watch these videos where they actually haven't gone back to school yet. So they might be really struggling with an overly long hot summer and still trying to get all of their ideas together. So for you folks, to give you a bit of a head start on this week's Epic Challenge, let's have a think, Janina and me, about some of the different jobs that could be done around the house and maybe some of the different animals too. We still can't tell you part 2 of the story. That is up to you. You need to complete the Epic Challenge, but maybe we can give you a few tips to help you on your way. And don't forget, if you want to complete the Epic Challenge by dressing up, sending us a photo, or even drawing a picture, that is absolutely fine too. However you want to get creative, just let us know. So, Janina, do you have to do jobs around your house, or do you have servants to do that for you?
I wish I had servants. Oh my goodness me. No, I do a lot of the jobs around the house, but so does my husband and so does my little girl. She helps out where and when she can. But
Mm.
last night I was washing up after dinner, and I was having to fit my enormous grown-up hand inside some of the glasses that she uses that are quite small and tall and thin and narrow.
Mm.
And she saw me washing up, and we started chatting about the story, about the part of the story that I've already told. And she said, "Mummy, Robin could change into an anteater if he was here. He could change into an anteater, and his long tongue would fit right at the bottom of the glass. It would do a better job than your hand is doing."
Oh, yeah.
And you know
That's a
what?
brilliant idea.
I truly wished that she could turn into an anteater right there and then, so so that she could help me with the washing up. But she didn't, and she skipped off and started doing something else, leaving me with my hand half stuck in this very tall, long, thin glass.
It's a brilliant idea, though. Anteaters do that. They have really long tongues that they put into ants' nests in order to wiggle them out, don't they? They also have really long noses, don't they, some of them? Or am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so a
Yeah.
long nose and then a long tongue that comes out the long nose. In fact, I'm sure there's probably something else that's longer and thinner than a glass that it would be really good at washing up, but I can't quite think what that would be. Hmm.
So there you go. If Robin could turn into something really long and thin, he can get to all of those hard to reach objects in the washing up bowl, which would be really helpful, wouldn't it? What about washing clothes, though? I mean, there must be loads and loads of clothes in your house, Janina, because I see
Mm,
you wearing different clothes in the World Storytelling Cafe every time, and they're always really colourful. And if you say you've got your husband and your daughter there as well, I imagine there must be piles of clothes. What sort of animal would you be able to wash clothes quick enough?
well, that's a good question. My husband's a gardener, and so normally every day when he gets home from work, he is absolutely filthy. His
Mm.
trousers get absolutely encrusted with mud, and when he wears gardening gloves, well, I can't even tell what colour they are anymore because they're so dirty. What I sometimes do is I don't put them in the washing machine, these gloves and these really heavy, heavily soiled trousers. What I do is I put them in the washing up bowl and let them soak. And then I get my hands and I pound them and I scrub them. And actually, if I was an animal with really big feet or paws, something like an elephant, maybe that would be really useful. I'd be able to squish those clothes down and really kind of push all of the dirt out of the fibers really well with no effort at all, really.
Well, then I might actually be able to donate my cat for that job, if you like, Yanina, because we often hear my cat going down the stairs, and we often say that he sounds just like an elephant. So maybe that would be another animal that he could turn into.
And cats do paddle, don't they? When they're really happy and they're settling down to have a little
That's
snooze,
true.
they purr and they paddle and they kind of scrunch their claws up as well. A really similar action to what I do with the clothes as well. So yeah,
Mm.
and an elephant-sized cat. That's what we need.
Well, do you know what? I think Robin would probably be able to turn himself into that. I mean, he can turn himself into any creature he thinks of. I know he hasn't done it in your story yet, but he may
No,
actually be able to think about something that doesn't exist. I mean, you may have noticed I've got an animal. I'm wearing an animal right now, aren't I?
you are.
And I wonder whether he could turn into this animal to help with something else that you need to do with clothes once you've finished washing them up.
Dry them.
Well, yes, certainly drying them. I mean, if you look,
Us,
there's masses of flames here. You can see this, can't you? We do have everybody being able to see both of us, don't we? I'm asking that question to our friends here at the World Storytelling Cafe, who are in control over who sees what. I hope they are making sure that you can see both of us. If you can see my shirt, then you'll be able to see all of the flames coming out from this dragon's mouth, and that would definitely get the clothes nice and dry, but it would also help you to make your claws nice and hot.
oh,
And that is so that you can then use your nice big bulky weight to flatten the clothes. Basically turning yourself into oh, you know, I haven't done housework for so long, I've forgotten what it's called. What's it actually called, Janina, when you
it's
flatten the
called an
clothes?
iron.
It's
It's
called
called
an
an iron. I
iron.
can
There we
tell.
go.
I can tell you've not done any laundry for quite some time, Chip.
Well, I'll admit something to you, Nina. A lot of people may come into the World
Go on.
Storytelling Cafe and see that my shirts are a bit crinkly. That's because I don't actually iron my shirts anymore, and I don't let anybody else iron them either,
Good.
because I like to make sure that if we're going to use electricity, we're doing it for important things and essential things. It's part of how I'm hoping that we can be looking after the world. And that's going to be really important for next week. We're going to be sharing a new story on Monday morning, which is all about caring for the world and about some of the environmental concerns that people have. It's a story in celebration of next Friday's Forests Day. If you have a forest school at your school, or if you appreciate any trees out there at all, then you'll definitely want to be sharing that story with us on Monday morning or anytime next week on Catch Up, because that is going to be our special story next week. But don't worry if you have a go at next week's story and you're a bit disappointed about not hearing the end of Robin's story. As soon as our epic postbag is full again, we will make sure that you hear the end of Robin Goodfellow's story, The Shapeshifter. We will also make sure you hear the end of the story next week too. So don't forget to go and share Epic Tales online with all of your friends and especially your teachers. Let them know how much you've enjoyed doing this, and let them see just how cool these epic challenges are for doing in the classroom. If you can be doing that as well, then we'll definitely be sharing all of each story with you. I think though, right now, it only remains for I almost forgot. I almost forgot to press the button that shows you where to send your creativity once you have created it. So again, I'm really hoping you can see me. No one in the World Storytelling Cafe has said anything back to me. I'm going to just quickly check that we are definitely. Oh yes, yeah, you can definitely see me. There we go. It's all I get to see is that Yanina has a little yellow rectangle around her. So I don't get to know whether you are seeing her or me. Isn't technology marvelous? This is why here at Epic Tales we tend to tell stories about the good old days where you didn't need Zoom, you didn't need computers. You could just turn into an animal and do all your housework, or wave a magic wand to get things done. If only we could have those days back again, hey, Janina?
Oh, I dream of those days.
Of course, those were the days too where if you wanted to send a message to someone, you just needed to pop it on the end of a pigeon and off it would go. Nowadays, we have digital pigeons in the form of websites. So if you get creative and think of a way that Robin could do one of your jobs around the house, think maybe what animal would he turn into to make your bed? What animal would he turn into to mow your lawn?
Or pick up all your toys from your bedroom floor.
Oh yeah, or clear away all of the mess in your room. What other jobs?
Oh, goodness me. Taking all your dirty plates out to the kitchen off the kitchen table.
Oh,
I know
yes.
that job is met with a lot of unresponsiveness in our house. Oh my goodness.
But it's such an important one, isn't it? Because
It
if no
really
one
is.
does it, you get all of the flies coming in, and that's just ugh.
Yeah.
So if you can think of the jobs in your house and think of an animal that would be able to do it far faster and more effective than anyone in your house can maybe do, then write down the idea, maybe write a little description of how the animal would do it, or draw a picture of the animal doing that, or dress up as the animal, turn into the animal and record a little video or take a photo of yourself doing those things and send them to us at epictales.co.uk/challenge. And then we'll be able to share the ending of Robin's story with you sometime in the future. Right now, though, it only remains for Janina and I to say cheerio, and we hope to hear your story soon. So, cheerio!
Cheerio!
And we hope to
We hope
hear
to hear
your
story
story soon.
soon.